So over the past couple of days, there's been a few updates with regards to Britney and everything going on with her and her family. And I think we all now know that Britney deserves to be free from her conservatorship, but I don't think her family members still realise that. And most notably, Jamie Lynn, because on her story the other day, she posted this: "Sometimes the greatest test is how you quietly handle those who so boldly mistreated you." And I don't know how she doesn't see the irony in this. The fact that for so long she's just said absolutely nothing, whilst everyone else seemingly, not even in her family, could see how much Britney was suffering, yet her sister, who over the years Britney seemed to really care so strongly about, just how Jamie Lynn completely abandoned her is just astonishing to me. And it's just so in your face that it almost feels like it's mocking Britney, because I don't see how else she could not see, or at least think about first, how it's going to be perceived by all of the people that are suddenly so judgmental and got their eyes on her in defense of Britney. Surely she now realizes that all eyes are on her, and all she has to do is maybe explain some of the reasons she didn't speak out publicly before, but why she does actually support her sister and how she has so over the years, except all she's actually done is create that really awful apology where she kind of portrayed Britney to actually be crazy, saying something along the lines of, "I don't care if she wants to run away to the rainforest and have 1,000 babies." Like, you don't say that about your sister if the narrative is that she's crazy. Speaking about Britney like that kind of gives us an insight into how she views Britney. She views her as probably mentally unstable and probably deserving of the conservatorship, and maybe that's why she hasn't reached out and tried to help her. I don't know, I just can't get my head around how much she seems to have hurt Britney, because in other reports recently, an insider spoke out saying that Britney said she'd reached out to Jamie Lynn and Jamie Lynn turned her back on her. Can you only imagine? And we know Britney's hurt because even she told the judge that, quote, "At the time, whilst I was there talking about her time in rehab, my dad and my whole family were at my beach house in Jackson, Florida, that I bought." And we've also seen her call Jamie Lynn and her whole family out on Instagram recently too. But remember how Jamie Lynn was boasting about she had a pretty big condo and she was blessed with it, and also posting on Twitter that she had a condo and it's the best getaway? Yet she hasn't benefited from this conservatorship. I highly doubt that, and I think that's one of the main reasons she's not speaking out for Britney. So this one's for you, Jamie Lynn. But what Jamie Lynn also posted recently was how her daughter Maddie had been going out to a homecoming dance, and she posted some pictures of her in her dress. But what I found weird was that she actually posted a picture of Maddie with Lynn Spears, and of course that's her grandmother, so that's not weird in itself. But the fact that Jamie Lynn is clearly not supportive of Britney, yet Lynn is still fighting for Britney. But then again, I suppose you can't really expect Lynn to choose between her daughters. But then again, if one of them was in a horribly desperate situation and the other one was not doing anything to financially benefit from the other's pain and suffering, I find it a bit weird that you're still supporting that other one, or at least not being with them, supporting them until they do the right thing. So, because it's clear that Britney and Jamie Lynn aren't on good terms at the minute. So the fact that Lynn is still fighting for Britney, yet also seemingly with Jamie Lynn, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm expecting her to choose between her two daughters, which isn't really fair, but it just seems a little bit weird that she's on both sides, even though it's clear that Britney's the one that's been really hurt and taken advantage of for 13 long years, and her sister stood by, watched and did nothing, and probably even benefited from. So it just doesn't really make sense to me, to be honest. But in other Britney news, she was actually seen the other day walking around and viewing the house that used to belong to Jeffree Star and his 20,000 square foot mansion that's pink. So I think that probably suits her taste pretty well. Her and Sam were seen walking around the property in the Ashley Ridge section of Beverly Hills, and this place is freaking huge. And I mean, like I said, all the decor inside Jeffree Star specifically made to be pink, and he even had a vault room in there that was basically like a bank vault that was pink. So can you imagine how much stuff, and probably Britney would put all her awards and stuff. And this thing was huge, so she could probably put all of her designer clothes and memorabilia in there as well. And like I said, this was like a proper bank vault, so Lou Taylor won't be making her way in there to steal more of your memorabilia and sell it off for her own financial gain now. And so the other bit of Jamie Lynn Spears news is that she actually released her new book, which I'm sure you're all aware of, and a lot of it was to do with promoting her mental health and saying how she felt like she needed to share and open up. And she tried to donate actually a large portion of the profits to a mental health charity, to which they actually rejected because of the fan outrage. So I can only imagine the higher ups in that company seeing all the outrage and like trying to nicely word a message to Jamie, and I'm like, yeah, but no thank you. I mean, how embarrassed must you feel if you're publicly offering a donation to a mental health charity that declines it? I mean, the gall of the woman to think that she could get away with it though. I mean, I just don't get it. And the last bit of Britney news is actually surrounding her dad, and how Britney's lawyer Matthew Rosengarten has made it pretty obvious that he's going to be doing a lot of digging into Britney's financial records and how everything was handled while she was doing all of her performances, and how everything was going on behind the scenes while she was basically forcibly being made to perform against her will. They're going to be doing a big forensic audit on everything, and I think Jamie knows he's screwed. And not only that, but I think Vivian Lee Thoreen, his lawyer, actually knows that too, because recently he's announced that he's been dropped by her. She didn't want to have anything to do with it, and she told him that he needed to find new representation moving forward. So that speaks volumes to me. That says that she knows that Jamie's in the shits and she's getting out while she can. She doesn't want her name tied to this. She doesn't want anything to do with his financial malfeasance and mishandlings of Britney's funds, whether that was just general misappropriation, unintentional allocation to budgets where it shouldn't have been, or just authorizing things blindly, whether that was intentional or ignorantly, I don't know. But either way, if he has mishandled her finances, he definitely needs to be held accountable. And the fact that everyone in her family just seems to fuck Britney over, especially because she's like the sweetest person in the world, I think that's why so many people are so outraged by this all, because it just hurts to see someone so genuine and so kind and so selfless just get fucked over by everyone they trust and everyone that should have been there protecting her. And I just can't. But Jamie has apparently found new representation, and apparently Vivian Lee Thoreen helped him do so, and they're still on good terms and all of that, so whatever that means. But she ain't representing Daddy no more, and I guess we'll see how all of this goes on November 12th, and I bet we're all rooting so strongly for her. And I really don't doubt that the judge can do anything but release Britney from this conservatorship, but I just wonder whether Rosengarten will have had enough time to delve into the finances by then, and if not, whether that is actually relevant to whether she gets released from the conservatorship. I don't actually think it is, but it would just be nice to see Jamie get some justice or an accountability held for his action. And I think the majority of us pretty much know that he's done something illegal. It's just whether there's evidence for that and whether he can be prosecuted for that. So let me know down in the comments below whether you found anything in this video interesting and maybe what you'd like to see next time. Anything to do with whether you think Lynn Spears is just been torn between her daughters, or whether she should actually have stood up to Jamie sooner and gone against Jamie Lynn as well, since she wasn't supporting Britney. But anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. I'm trying to hit 2K by the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. Thank you again. Bye. Say what you want to say to me.